Hi, my name is Jen Susko, and I'm here to talk about classroom management with Google Meet. So, on the transition to a new virtual school year, we're going to start with students who are online all the time. Setting expectations is going to be key. So, one thing that you can use is a document like this. I found this one on Teachers Pay Teachers. It was free to download. You can create your own, or I will have access to this on a document that I created where you can download one for yourself. I also have another example that might work for you, where you can create your own, but it's important to start your year with expectations. Some of these are really key, and maybe you don't agree with all of them. You can change them and use the ones that you want, but there's a few that we definitely need to have. Students must find a quiet place where they can focus and concentrate. They should not have their microphones on while other people are speaking. The background noise can be a complete distraction for both of them and your other students, and even yourself when you're engaging in instruction. Make sure that your students choose the correct view. What do I mean by that? So when you're in Google Meet, um, there's choices for how the students can view you. And there's some easy ways to do it. Not all of them are going to be familiar with the tool. And there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for people. But do you see up here? I can choose this on anyone's picture. So since I'm the only one in this Google Meet, and you can see me all over the place here, um, I'm the only one that would have this available because I'm the only one here. But any person this can happen with, you can pin them to your screen so they only see you. Um, they could also go to options on the little snowman right here, and they can change their layout, and they can do spotlight. So spotlight will highlight whoever the speaker is. Obviously, as the teacher, you're going to want to use the tiled view so that you can see all of your students. But for the students, they want to be able to see you and your instruction. So that's an important thing for them to be able to do. Use that little thumbtack to your advantage. Another thing that is great for the older students is, I'm going to get out of here for a second, to use the chat, that sidebar chat, to ask the questions, to be responding. If you have a simple, math question where they can just type the answer in really quickly, or a yes or a no, a thumbs up kind of deal, they can respond quickly over in the sidebar chat, and then you can monitor that as you're teaching. So setting expectations is the very first thing that you want to do before you even start your meeting. Telling students, what you expect of them, and then when they don't follow that, if that's the case, you can always, have them leave the meeting. So that's, a possibility for your classroom management. If you don't follow the rules, you don't get to stay in the meeting. Another thing that you might want to talk to them about is hanging up at the end of the meet. So the Google Meet links will automatically disappear as soon as everyone has ended their meeting. So that's something that you might want to make sure your students leave before you do, because if they stay, they can stay and not be monitored. Then We also want to talk about how do you see your students while you're presenting. So when you have this Present Now tab, you can choose to present your entire screen, a window, or a Chrome tab. I suggest just presenting a tab. So whatever tab it is that you choose, perhaps you're doing an everyday math or a wonders lesson. If you choose just that tab, you can pull that tab down right off, okay? And resize it so that you can see both that tab and your Google Meet at the same time, okay? Now, will you be able to see every student this way? No, you won't. However, you could ask them to turn their cameras off while you're presenting, and then you won't have to worry as much. That's a possibility. Now, if you want them to have cameras on so you can see them raising their hands, then there's other options, okay? Another option would be to join from a second device. So if you have your Meet running on this computer, you grab another and log in on that. Now, the only key thing to remember there is you don't want to be joined with audio on both of them. So you need to make sure that your volume is turned off and that your microphone is muted. Otherwise, you're going to get some terrible feedback if you are joined on two devices. It could also be your cell phone and your computer, however you'd like to join. That way, there's the option to monitor from two screens. There's also a third option for the very tech savvy people. You can hook up both either a television or another computer monitor to your laptop or your desktop computer. And instead of being in duplicate screen mode like you are for your smartboard, you can hold on any Windows computers the Windows key and P, and you should be able to change to side-by-side mode. And then you can take your Google Meet and put it on one screen while you have your presentation on the other screen. So you just drag and drop. It also works with your smartboard. If you have an updated computer, you should be able to do that using Windows NP. Okay? But only try that if you're adventurous and tech savvy. All right. Another thing, some people were wondering, like, how do I show my whiteboard while I'm teaching because I'm showing a math problem or something like that? So there's some options for you. So I am going to close out this Google Meet for the moment and show you some tools that you can use. All right, so obviously you could just have your mini whiteboard and do your problems on your webcam. That would work. You can prop up your teacher laptop right in front of your whiteboard and project that screen. That works. However, if you want to do it virtually, you can do that as well. So Google has some great apps. If you go into your Google Drive, if you click New and you go to More, you can choose Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard is basically like an interactive whiteboard or a poster, you can call it. And it has these tools over here where you can, draw your math problem or whatever it is that you want to show. And obviously, it's probably a little easier with the touch screen or a mouse rather than the touchpad. Those are a little more difficult to use. But the great thing about this is you can actually share it with your students and then they can collaborate. So, which you can add in whoever you want, just choose some names and share it with those people. and then they can come in and they can all collaborate with you if you want them to. You can also put in some post-it notes if you wanted to share some directions, like open to page 45. There's also opportunity to put pictures in here that you can use for your class. So that is one tool that you can use as a whiteboard. Another one that works pretty well here is called Classroom Screen, and this is good for management of time. Some of you may be familiar with this one, but if I wanted to set a timer, oh, it's not going to work, is it? Come on now. There we go. Tell the students you have, 4 minutes to finish up, and then we're going to continue our discussion. You can have this playing on your screen. There's also some spots for text. So you can put your directions up here. You can put like a journal prompt. Please write about your summer vacation. And you can't see that right now, so I'll move it. Okay, and then you'll have their timer. You can put some drawings as well. So you have your digital whiteboard as well. You can do that here. So this is just one more tool in your toolbox that you could use if you don't want to be trying to write on the whiteboard and monitor at the same time. This way you can do it right from your computer. You don't have to get up and stand up. Then our other thing that I wanted to talk about, let's see, was Google Slides. So if you're showing a Google slideshow, sometimes it's hard to see anything other than your Google slideshow. So there's one other tip that I wanted to show you, and I forgot to open my Google Slides, so you'll have to excuse me here. So this is a slide, so I'll just go with this. So let's say I wanted to share this during my Google Meet. When I do present, when I go to present this and I want to share my screen, I'm not going to present it in a full screen mode. So if you choose present, this is going to cover up your whole screen. But if you go to the drop down arrow to the right and choose presenter view, it makes it go into a tab where you can actually still see your Google Meet and manage your presentation from here. So this is a very helpful tip if you like to use Google Slides, that you don't have your whole screen taken up and you can still see your students if you have them in another tab. So these are just a few tips to help you along. Oh, and there's one more I wanted to show you. I almost forgot. Some teachers, because of COVID, don't want to share their manipulatives, and it makes sense. So another way to teach, with your manipulatives is to use virtual manipulatives. So this is a really, really great website. It's called GeoGebra. So geogebra.org has virtual manipulatives. They have pattern blocks, place value, like there's all sorts of things here. So if you're teaching fractions, you can show the students their fraction bars. You can do some equivalent fractions here and help students realize, oh, look, 2/8 is equal to a fourth by moving your things around here. So I'm sorry, I'm not 100% on the tools here. I haven't used it too many times. But this is a tool that you can use so you can show a lot of the things that you would show in class to your students. Hey, look, 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. So this is great for any math teachers. You get a lot of your virtual manipulatives that you would normally work with in class. Now they're virtual so that you don't have to pass those out and worry about sanitizing, things like that. So I think those are all my tips. So I hope they help you out. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is jsusko@riversidesd.com. I hope you have a great day and a great school year.